Hi guys, Dave here, and today I wanted to make a short video and tell you a story. So I invite you to stick to the end of this video. So right now, according to many reports and many people I've talked to, we just entered a new 26,000 year cycle. It was on June 21st, and this is what ancient culture like the Mayans were referring to. And I know that for some people it's hard to understand the correlation between the movement and alignment of planet and stars and the moon with human evolution. But stay with me here. The universe is a field of consciousness. All there is consciousness. It's one ocean of consciousness. So what you see out there as physical matter, as planet, as your computer, as your body, is just consciousness in a vibratory state. So consciousness creates and is all things, which means that everything is governed by that consciousness, which is all that is. There's no other power because there's nothing else. And now in this new era, there's a big shift happening in human consciousness, and the ancient knew about this. And people are awakening more and more to the true and spiritual nature of reality in the universe. A lot of people are now realizing that the systems on this planet right now were built on corrupt and basically ridiculous ideas, on a story of mortal fiction. Basically, our system is basically slavery sold to us as freedom. So all these ideas, competition, hate, division, wars, violence, oppression, and corruption, will gradually disappear as we enter this new age. Because the rigged system and its rulers that are manipulating the minds of the masses won't work anymore and will start disappearing when enough people will finally wake up and stop believing in those concepts, in those ideas that are corrupt, that are rooted in fiction and corruption. So here's what's happening. Let me tell you a short story. There's just one source of all creation, one power sustaining life. Without it, there's no life. So imagine it's the sun, and the sun is radiating divine love everywhere. Its light fills all space and gives life to all creation. And all the sun wants is to see its own reflection. But now there's a cloud of human ignorance on earth that appeared and prevents many people from seeing that light. Therefore, people react with fear and they believe they have to fight for their lives because they don't see the light. They live as if there was a force against them, a dark force, darkness, that is trying to prevent them from being in love with life, which means to only receive the light. So these people develop diseases and experience very, very painful stuff because they believe the cloud is real. Therefore, they're living in an unnatural, fearful state, and that destroys their bodies, their health. But now, the sun suddenly changed its color and its intensity. Again, the sun is conscious too, just like the planet, just like the solar system, everything is consciousness. So now the cloud is starting to dissipate because the light finds its ways to those people who were lost in the darkness. So these people realize and remember that the cloud never had any power, that it was just get this, a smoke screen. And also, the people who actually truly wake up realize that this cloud was intentionally placed there as a learning experience, a way for these people to remember their power, their divinity, and the omnipresence of the light by experiencing exactly the opposite, which they are not. That's how a lot of people wake up, through deep pain and depression, darkness. And now people realize that the sun has always been the only power and the only source of life, and that it has never stopped radiating divine love while thinking of all its creation. That all people have to do to be healthy and happy, to be in love with life, it's to accept and trust the sun and its light as their source of nourishment. It's to be in alignment with this natural flow of divine love and goodness that is eternal. In other words, they have to keep reflecting love and goodness. That's how they demonstrate their trust. By keep reflecting love and goodness, even when all they see is the darkness. Because it only happened because their consciousness was temporarily clouded by human ignorance. And now the cloud disappears faster right now on this planet because people absorb more and more of this divine light. And they absorb more of it by focusing only on the sun, its loving presence, and its limitless power, knowing that it is the only power, that the cloud never had any power. So, and they do this, again, regardless of what they see, or what they've seen with their eyes in the past, regardless of any negative opinion or perception, because anything that is negative comes from human ignorance, not from divine love. And their new state of consciousness, knowing all these things, brings them in a new world, because consciousness creates reality. What you experience is a state of consciousness. So, this is what I want you to remember. Those who learn to know and trust about God, the universe, life, your creator, source, you can call it whatever you want. But those who learn to know and trust God, and they incorporate this knowledge into their consciousness, they're always worshiping or thinking about God, thanking God. They are always carrying God with them in their present experience. And they demonstrate their new level of consciousness by trusting. Your trust is the way you show that you agree with your creator rather than the fictional world, the cloud of human ignorance. You choose the one you want to trust. Do you trust human ignorance that you see through your lying eyes, or the source of all creation? And so people have to demonstrate their new consciousness by trusting their creator blindly, and like I said earlier, reflect love, joy, and goodness in any circumstances. That's how you destroy the error, the temporary lack that is being reflected in your life circumstances. So the people who do this are the ones who will prosper and truly experience their divine nature, because they finally understand and follow God's will. And just one scripture behind, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is His good, pleasing, and perfect will. Again, do you trust the divine and perfect nature of your creator, which fill all space, the eternal I am presence, which is the one consciousness that you're part of? Or do you trust the temporarily cloud of human ignorance that makes you fear your future, fear for your life? In the end, it is your choice, my friend. Take care.